Good morning, everyone. It is February the 3rd, 2016, and this starts our payrolls numbers week with the ADP employment number coming out at 8:15 Eastern, and it's on its default number now, 190. Then we have Gallup Job Creation Index. Don't know what it is. Previously it was 30. PMI services, 53.7. This number can come in lower than forecast. ISM services at 55.5. It also can come in lower than forecast if you believe the economic news. And then crude inventories plus 3.7. So number one focus, ADP, followed number two, ISM service, and number three, direction of the E-mini. Now, in Pete Stedelmeyer's second book, Volume 2, he talks about the four stages of market activity. And I believe it's around page 75. The first stage is we get a new move, which we had yesterday. We find a price that cuts off the buying. Looks like it's in the 130.10 area. So number two is you find this price that cuts off the buying, and then we move into development. And the market is searching for support. So the Globex market developed around in the 130.04 area. We have been pulled back to this volume at 129.30. We had the breakout previously at 25.5. And the last rotate down yesterday stopped at 22.5. So we should have pretty good support in this 24 to 28 area by one. And then 16 to 20 will be the by two area. As far as the selling goes, we're at it. We're at resistance. So 30 to 30.03 will be sell 1, and 2 will be 11. And again, we're playing for the most likely occurrence after a trend day is a pause day. We've got Friday's non-farm payroll number to hold the market in check after our reactions today to the news. And that usually does that. Looking at the 30-year. Here's the T-split to match that. We can see that we're rejecting prices basically above 130, 163 even. So this 28 level to 01, first sell, pretty aggressive. 27 to 31. We're going to jump it up to 7 to 11. Now on the buy side, we've retested 14 twice. We stopped at 17. We're currently at 25, so our first buy is 16 to 20. And we had our breakout from 161.28. Last rotate down was 62.04. So 5 to 9 will be buy 2. And if we start building value basically below 162, this market can trade lower and maybe pick up some momentum to the downside. But normal course, normal expectations after a trend day is a pause day, and yesterday was a trend day plus some. I mean, it moved. Gold held in pretty well overnight. Again, I just think the world is just really, really scared about what's coming around the bend. So we had buyers at 25. We were hoping to buy it below 25 yesterday. So 24, 26 is support. And that was our buy. Yesterday was 24, 26. We got into it in London. Then 19 to 21, pretty much where we were yesterday. Pretty good call, pretty good assessment of the market, if I do say so myself. 30 to 32 is resistance. That was also our call yesterday. Sell 1, and 35, 37 will be sell 2. So, structure, if you understand structure, you can learn how to make these calls. It seems like magic when you first get started, but I've worked with a few people, and I don't like to do this because it really is takes a lot of energy at the end of the week to teach over the weekends. But usually working with somebody privately after a couple of 3 weeks, they can make the same support and resistance calls that I can. You can get it through the room because we do it the same way every day. But some folks find themselves in a hurry and are very, very persuasive, and a few of them have been able to convince me to work with them over the weekends. Yeah, ad nauseum. Right, Nancy? Charlie, would you quit talking about that stuff? Okay, 109.50. And it does get tedious and it does get old, but hopefully, repetition is how we learn. And hopefully, by repeating it as much as I do, it does finally soak in. Okay, 15 held. So 10 to 20 is buy one. Basically the buck. Now let's make it 18.75. We break the overnight session. I think we're going to go lower, so we'll make 8.75 buy two. But obviously we got to get through 109 even to get to our buy two level. Sell one's 9.50. Sell two's 9.75. Today's ADP number can cause a reaction in the euro if it's too far off the consensus estimate. Okay, Russia came out again last night and said they're open to talks about production levels, etc. And crude rallied as you'd expect it to, off of its reality. Came back in when we got above 30.50. So 29.50 to a 30.50 market is what we're looking at right now. So any announcement out of Russia, Kuwait, especially Saudi Arabia, that they might hold talks on production, will take the market higher, at least put a floor in it, and that'll be countered by Iran that says we'll produce as much as we can produce when we produce it. And tough. So this is Rich Gender's least favorite day to trade. And again, the reaction to the EIA inventory numbers makes no sense fundamentally. And if it's better than expected number, it usually sells. If it's a worse than expected number, it usually rallies with the usual shibboleths. It was in the market. It's not in the market. It's an exchange controlled pylon contract, and whichever side of that big fat bar when the news announcement is made that you come out of is the next short-term direction of the market. Longer term, we're headed lower because of excess supply. London usually offers us the best time to take advantage of prices. And everybody's favorite contract. Listen, I know there's a lot of love for the E-mini, and I know everybody gets into trading. with the E-mini so they can talk to their buddies about how they're killing it in the stock market. But it is the toughest contract to trade. There are easier contracts to trade. And if you're really having trouble making money in the E-mini, with all of its advantages, it's also the place where every damn game in the world and where the bulk or most of the spoofing goes on. Crude oil is, if your time and capital challenged, is the Rich Gender's crude oil program is the best place to start. If you like markets that trade fundamentally, the bond, the note, gold, the euro, do fine. Crude oil, who in the hell knows when the news hits, and the E-mini, who in the hell knows. So it's there for you when you develop the requisite skills, and it's not something I think everybody should look at. The E-mini, the bond, and crude. And if you want your trading done early in the morning and to be done with it, gold is a better vehicle than crude. It tends to be one way, and it tends to make only one market move. Whereas crude can make two or three. And as an immature trader, you'll kick yourself in the backside for not catching that second or third move. And that's not good either. That's called mental malpractice. And what does a trader need to progress? A trader needs competence. Okay. Again, Rich Genders will be on tomorrow at noon Eastern. Not today at noon Eastern. Okay, so where is resistance on the E-mini? 5 to 10. You can see this. There's a high at 13. There's a high of 11. Here's a high of 8. So 5 to 10 is sell 1. And then getting stops above yesterday's day session high, I think, would be the next step. If you're a chartist, you've got a limit sell at 1912, 1913. I would pick up those two highs right there. Then 14 to 19 would be sell 2. And I would expect a pause day after the market just kind of waits to see what's going on. In Globex, these dotted lines work very, very well because the market trades technically, and usually we don't have news to deal with. Okay, on the buy side, 85 to 90, buy 1. And then 75, 80, buy 2. I think Friday's non-farm payroll news will hold the market in check. I think the news that comes out, the economic news anyway, favors lower prices. The markets rally a day or so, usually about a day off of direct intervention by the Bank of Japan or the Bank of China. Would be true if the European Central Bank was intervening these days too. They're doing it verbally. Quick review of the news. ADP 190. Service ISM services 55.5. Could come in lower than forecast. The ADP number I doubt would come in lower than forecast because they cook the books there, just like the Bureau of Labor Standards does too. And then crude inventories at 3.7. Going to take a bit to get everything up and posted. I'll get busy on it. Back with you as soon as possible.